Hi there, my name is Kaushik, and today we will be discussing about character input and output. I have taken all this knowledge from the book The C Programming Language, second edition, written by Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie. I have typed in all the important points that are required for this section on the screen. You can just pause the video for a second and read the text. That will be really helpful. And I'll also be reading out the text that I have written on the screen for the people who are visually challenged. So, yeah. Now, the first point about character input and output in a C programming language is that text input or output, regardless of where it originates or where it goes to, is dealt as a stream of characters. It's all stream of characters. Whatever you type in, an alphabet, a special character, a digit, it's all a stream. It's all treated as a stream of characters. Now, a text stream is a is represented by a sequence of characters. Now that can be divided into lines. The way it's divided into lines, the division is through a special character called a new line character. That is the way a stream of characters can be divided into lines. Now, the standard library called stdio.h provides several functions for reading and writing, one character at a time. Now, for reading a character, you use a function called getChar, and for writing a character onto the console, you use a function called putChar. Normally, reading of characters, the input source for that will be keyboard, and most probably the output where you see it will be a console. Each time a getChar is called, it reads the next input character from the text stream and returns that character as a value, right? And then putChar prints whatever getChar has read each time it's called. Now you will be surprised to see that you will be able to write a surprising amount of useful code only using these two functions, getChar and putChar. So what's getChar? GetChar reads the next input character from the text stream, and putChar prints that character, prints the character that's read by getChar. Simple. Now we will illustrate this program. We will illustrate this getChar and putChar using a program that copies a stream of characters and using getChar, and it prints that stream of characters using putChar. Now there's a problem here. You read a stream of characters, you print a stream of characters. This is all very fine. But how do you identify the end of the stream of characters, and how do you terminate your program? Because you read characters, you print characters, and your program will just go on like that. But there has to be a point where your program has to end. So that thing we define it using something called as end of file, EOF. So now in Windows, the end of file is represented using the combination of keys Control and Z. When you press Control and Z, it's represented as end of file. There's another combination of keys for Linux and Unix, but since we are programming on a Windows machine, we are only concerned with Control Z, right? Now, uh, this is it, and there's a problem here with Control Z. Now when you're programming, um, you will not represent the characters that you will not represent the characters that are read as using a char data type. You will be using int. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain that reason and problem both when we are doing the program. So let's type the program now. Now I'll take this int C. I'll write a small while statement here. While C equals to get car, right? And I close this in parentheses. There's a reason why am I closing this in parentheses. I'll explain you in a minute. Not equals to end of file. I'll say that this in this we'll print that put car C. This is all we need. This is all the program we have now. Now this getChar, what this does is it reads the input, it takes the input from the keyboard and pushes that input into a variable called C. Now that variable C is declared as int, right? This is what the problem is. Ideally, as it is a stream, what we have discussed initially, we have discussed that this is a stream of characters. Now when it's a stream of characters, the basic data type you expect here should be car, but we have taken int. The reason is, now here you have end of file. Now you are comparing this character to this end of file, right? Now this end of file has to be something. If it's a character, I define this. I don't want to mess up the words here, and that's why these are the exact lines taken from the book. We will go through the lines, right? You can just see it here. The problem here is distinguishing the end of file from valid data. Valid data is characters, and end of file is also a character, right? The solution is that getChar returns a distinctive value when there is no more input, right? When there is no more input, it should return a distinctive value, a value that cannot be confused with any real character. Now that value where it returns indicating that there's no more input should not be any real character. That's what it is. The value is called end of file or EOF in short. Now we must declare the variable C to be a type big enough to hold any value that getChar returns, right? Whatever that getChar returns should be big enough for that variable C. Now we can't use char since C must be big enough to hold end of file in addition to any possible char. See, if you have taken char, you have what? You have 1 bit of memory, right? Now this end of file should be something bigger than that, and hence the reason you take integer C. This is a bit confusing. uh, I agree with that, but this is it. I mean, this is the explanation. This is a bit weird, but this is the way this works. Generally, when comparing to an end of file, we take a variable that's of data type int. Now, the reason why we have parenthesis here is because not if we have omitted the parenthesis, not equal to will take higher precedence than equal to. Now, if you omit the parenthesis, getChar not equal to end of file will be first computed, and we do not want that. We want the entire expression C is equals to getChar to be computed with end of file. Hence the reason we put the parenthesis. Now, after this, we are just displaying the characters on the screen. We are just displaying the characters on the screen, and we do that using putchar. So we just run this application now. Okay, you have the console. I'd like to print some character. Okay, let's take a character called Q. I press enter. You see, you get character Q back. I print a character 1, you get character 1 back. I print a special character, you get a special character back. One more special character, you get a special character back. I type in some words like program. I press enter, you get that back. Everything is treated as a sequence of characters, right? And it's terminated with /n. That's end of the line. Now I have to end this program. How do I end this program? Using an end of file terminator. So I do Control Z. I press both of them together, I hit enter. The program terminates. So this is it. Hope you like this. Thank you very much.